No, I grew up with crazy religion, so I studied religion for 10 years to prove them all the shit, and then found my own faith, and that was cool for me. And that is that I understand, like, I'm a nihilist. Just look that up.
No, I'm a nothingness, as in I don't believe anything, I also don't disbelieve in anything. I'm just like in the middle. I just don't know.
You're a fucking nihilist. I grew up in the Mormon church. I love being Mormon.
Oh yeah, the other thing is that, what is it called? What is it? I'm not a Democrat or Republican anymore. I used to be like Democrat, but then I was like, this is getting cringy.
Democrat? Holy fuck, you're worse than the Satanist over here.
I know. Ex-Satanist.
Dude, it was how I was raised, man, but now it's like...
Oh, dude, I'm a libertarian.
I'm the representative of my state right now, Alexandria Costa-Cortez, and I'm just
God.
Like...
Oh, God. Oh, I gotta tell you about this.
You mean the meme goddess?
You mean the one who
goddess?
ruined the Amazon deal that would have given us tons of jobs and tons of money? That
Dude, she's a meme goddess.
No, Belle Delphine is meme goddess. She's just cringy. She just needs to quit. She needs to go back to being a waitress. That's like the only professional job she could have.
So, I was getting into an argument with this liberal from Canada who is literally a Nazi, and I'll get to that's the second point. But he immediately, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't care for any of them. I didn't like any of the reports. I didn't like who they were. I grew up with Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. I don't fucking care. Ted Cruz just looked like a pervert. I didn't want to fucking deal with any of them. But,
no, he's the Zodiac killer. Get it right.
Yeah, pretty fucking much, right? It looks just like that goddamn fucking picture that they posted. I actually on Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna hold that angle, all right?
There was a still
right
frame.
He actually is a Zodiac killer. Like actually, like based on proof. He's
Oh really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh okay. I was like, I don't watch television. I don't fucking hear about these things. But so
they just found Ted Cruz committed suicide because he's a fucking Zodiac killer.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But so he immediately attacked me as a Trump supporter. I said, dude, I'm not a Trump supporter. I said Trump to me is like porn. It's like I want to back my president because he's my fucking president. If you don't back the president, we're gonna fail as a fucking country. People do not fucking they know that. So so Trump is like porn to me. There's a lot of things I don't like about porn, but there's some things I like about porn. But even when I don't watch it, I'm not gonna criticize it because somebody else has some different factors or ideas or whatever it is. And he's put off on me, dude. And I was like, he said, this is what he said. He said, I want no freedom of speech. I want more private. I want less privacy, more security, and more of the government influence on our lives to tell us what to do. And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? I said, go fuck yourself.
I started the slow clap a long time ago, but I agree with everything you're saying.
Here's what I want. I want less.
I'm an immigrant, right? I'm an immigrant. So, but here's my thing though. If I invite you to my home, you're allowed to come in my home anytime you fucking want, right? I don't want you to go through the side window. I don't want you to go through the fucking porch. I don't want you to go through any other place except my front fucking door. And please can you knock first? Like
here's my thing. I think that we're living in the age of lies, pretty much. I fake news thing, but it is. Like, so many people fake BS. Like, you've seen the thing with Jussie Smollett and all the...
Well, I dismiss unbiased journalism. What a time.
But it's like they don't do any research. They don't do any fact checking. It's like, what?
And it's all opinion. It's opinion journalism.
Yeah, look at the kids that were standing outside with the mega hats. Where the Indian guy was coming
that
out.
Situation.
Yeah, what was the real story of that situation was just nowhere near what they portrayed it to be.
Yeah, nothing
Just
near, of
appalling.
course, because it needs to fit their agenda. It needs to fit whatever they want it to be. It's sad. It's absolutely sad.
And you know what's funny is the media will have you think that you're a rare racist person if you think this certain way.
Dragging cabs over there behind the desk.
Or they'll discredit you, or they'll say, "Oh, guess what?"
Sorry, I was trying to save your life there, buddy, but I just.
Or you know, they'll kick you off of Twitter. Type funny. You know, like I hate. Yeah, like I just hate it for my generation. It's my generation. My generation sucks ass.
Well, it's the same. My grandmother said the same thing, but she said, when she's in her like almost 80s.
No. My generation is mentally handicapped.
No. I'm part of that same generation. But
No. I think that we need to be careful. I don't think that it's nearly as bad as we think it is. I think that the people with the loudest mouths tend to align left, and I mean left, not liberal. left, because left is a whole lot of confused bullshit nowadays. I think that people with the loudest mouths are there. They're the ones that end up on the media. They're out on the parades. I think a lot of us people who are a little bit more down to earth, I'm not saying you have to necessarily be conservative, but those with half a brain and who can reason things out properly are at home playing Rainbow Six Siege and fucking around on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh,
They're not out on the streets with dildos attached to their nipples, or wearing a vagina hat. You know,
Exactly.
they're trying to just live their lives to the best of their ability without making a fucking fool of themselves.
Yeah, like, what's one of the bigger ones that I saw? Oh yeah, the whole entire... Like, all tried to send them to jail, like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
false, like, there was
yeah,
one where this
the-
guy went to prison for 60 years, only for them to say, yeah, I made up the whole story, and it's like, dude,
Oh yeah.
it
There's a
ruins
lot of
people's
hoaxes out
lives.
there, and
I
you
just
know
went,
what?
like,
The
guess what?
hoaxes almost. I've watched statistics on this. The hoaxes never align right. It's the left that they want to create a false narrative, and the narrative that they want to create just doesn't exist. So they literally try to make things up that fit
And
that
then
narrative.
when something
Oh.
goes to discredit what they're saying and that they stand for, they just ignore it.
I
Yep.
just had a personal thing that happened with me.
Or they
where
call you racist.
I live I live in
Exactly.
an open carry state. I own several rifles and guns, and they're all registered to me. They're all legal. They're all mine. It's an open carry state. It was like 10 minutes before the clock, before the day was done. I started my car. I knew my door was unlocked, so I grabbed my gun and I put it on my side because I didn't want to leave my gun inside my car, and it's unlocked. My car is running. I would rather have my car stolen than my gun stolen. You feel me? And
Yes.
so I put it on
I
my
feel
side,
you.
and
I
like
feel you.
my boss saw it.
You're felt.
All my coworkers saw it, and then there was this one liberal bitch coworker who's the same age as me, freaked out that I had the fucking gun, but she still took the box of shit that I gave her, and she didn't show up the next day, and she complained that she said I flashed the gun at her, and I pointed the gun at her, and I said, you do realize that I was standing in front of the camera, which she forgot about. We had the whole thing on camera. She got fucking fired. They said, you want to make out
As she
shit
should
like
be.
that?
I think
Yeah,
that
as she
anybody who just disagrees with you for the sake of disagreement and then
Or
makes
lies
shit
about
up,
something like
or makes things up in order to cast you in a bad light, they deserve the ultimate punishments.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't think there
all
should
those
be any
people who
mercy
do
for
the-
people like that.
Yeah,
the
because,
logic
like,
in her brain.
Liars are
and-
liars, and liars, when they lie in order to
Deserve to be punished.
to hurt someone else, they deserve a punishment, and I mean a real one, not a little
Oh, yeah,
slap
like,
on the wrist. They
I
deserve to
mean,
be
a liberal-
terminated. They deserve jail time. They deserve fines. Nothing small.
Most-
I really
most
think that people.
Oh, yeah.
I think that
Oh, yeah,
people
I totally
who lie about being raped, and you know, that kind of stuff. If they are exposed for that, they deserve incarceration.
Exactly,
They
they deserve the
deserve
same amount as
incarceration.
that guy would have gotten.
Exactly. I believe in that, an eye for an eye, because they're like I don't get most cultures today. It's like the way that they try to use language on the left and the far left is quite crazy. Like this one, I was arguing with this one liberal, and she said this. She said, if you leave an infant or a young child and don't have any interaction with them for more than 2 weeks, they will die. And my coworker and I looked at this bitch, and we're like, and he's a big black dude with dreadlocks, and he's like, we look at her and we're like, that's called neglect. Of course they're gonna die. It's a crime. She says, no. If you leave them alone, no, that's called neglect. And she argued with this, and I was like, no matter what the fuck you try to change the way you would try to explain it, it's still fucking neglect. you dumb
It's
bitch.
child neglect. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Like, yeah, and we're just laughing at her, and she just like got pissed off. Where I watched this one liberal, and she was like complaining about that Nazis weren't socialism, and it was just like it was the National Socialist Party. What the fuck do you mean? Like
Like,
you not
are you
pick up
retarded?
Well,
books?
here's
Yeah.
here's a theory I have, and I hate to generalize all people, but I really think that a lot of people who align left actually lack the basic ability to reason. Or they
Oh,
don't
God.
they don't really know how to think things all the way through. I'm not saying that's true about all of them, but I think that it attracts people who don't know how to reason, because the media definitely they're holding the country by the balls on
Oh, yeah.
what they
Well,
want
no,
to portray. I
I
mean,
think they're
all the
holding the
media,
media by
they
the
give you,
balls,
you
not-
know, they
not
give you
people.
these stories. They're not always real, and sometimes they're very convincing. But anybody who has half a brain who thinks, you know what, given my gut feeling about how the nation is, you know, the socioeconomic atmosphere, I feel like that's wrong. And they do some research and they figure out, oh yeah, that was a fucking lie. That was a big fucking lie. But you know, people who don't really have that ability to reason, and they get themselves hive-minded and all, you know, up in a tissy fit, they tend to align left. And I think it's because those who are on the left are incredibly emotive.
Well, it's like the left says we want.
They're passionate, and they're driven by passion and emotion.
Well, it's not even that they're passionate. Is they have enough money. They have more money than you or I, who actually have a common decency. They have mommy and daddy's money, husband's money. They have money that they can go out and spend.
Well, I wouldn't speak to their financial situation, but I think that...
Well, so if you look at a lot of these people who are liberals, you look at the national growth...
Sorry I didn't invite you, but you're welcome.
If you look at these people who are there, and you look at who they're married to, or who their parents are, who are speaking out in college and shit, you start realizing they come from really heavy money. So what they do is they have so much, and I work in people's homes, I work in the real estate market. The biggest thing that I've noticed with my residents, and I have over 126 of them, is the simple fact that the people who sit fucking home all goddamn time are, like, have the most to complain
about. Where'd that happen? What window? Call it out.
I don't know, I didn't even see it. Don't go up the stairs. Don't go up the stairs. Bottom.
Let me see. What's one of the ones that I've noticed? I've noticed
right
that they're starting off with young children.
You should not indoctrinate young children into shit like that. A kid may put on a young boy might put on high heels or something as a kid and be funny. His sisters and mom did it, but not to assume that they are now.
Oh, so like that 8-year-old kid that they did it to already?
Yeah.
Tasia?
That's some fucked up shit, bro.
Oh my god.
I mean, and then the other one. You guys heard about the other one, right?
Oh,
they had dancing at a bar.
She came fast.
You guys heard about that one, right? That one was worse. Dancing at a bar with guys throwing money at him.
Yeah, the whole I was about to bring that up. The whole pedophilia thing, dude. Where like there's a whole this whole social justice warrior shit is allowing we can do anything. Is allowing pedophiles to come out and state that they want to like make a whole. I don't mean to. Hold on, just give me a second.
Yeah,
they want to make a whole thing around it, and there's parents that agree with it. That's the
and that's
fucked
the
up
thing.
part.
And the thing is that you look at some of the communities, and they're just like, no, like when this doesn't represent all of us. Like, I'm not gonna say like I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. Like the LGBTQ stuff or like the drag queen, they're like, this doesn't represent all of us. We don't think that, you know, they should be doing that to kids. There's some of them that do say that, but it's like, nope.
One of the things that liberal got into an argument with me about was he says every time I would agree with him, it was like he was
liberal or a leftist.
Far
because
leftist.
There's a big difference between a classical liberal and a leftist.
He had far leftist views, but he claimed to be a liberal.
Well, he's wrong, because classical liberalism is practically conservatism in our political atmosphere.
Exactly.
It's too bad.
Exactly.
It's too bad. Anyway, go on. Sorry, I was just being an ass.
So he was like I said no. I said I don't have an issue with that. I said my brother is transgender. I don't really give a fuck. If he wants to be called, I'm still gonna call him a he because he's my fucking brother. But in front of people, I'm still calling him she. I might slip out and call him he because he's my fucking brother that I've known him my entire life as a he. Like if I randomly know you and you wish you called a she, I have no problem with that. To be forced like they have in Canada, where you can be fined if you call somebody, if you miss the pronoun, right? Like that is some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I agree. It's a violation of the freedom of speech. The biggest problem for me, the biggest, yeah, exactly. But that's why I don't think it applies in the United States, though. And that's those people who want it to be like Canada. I think that they are fucking nuts. But anyway, the biggest problem for me with like identity, politics, and all this kind of shit is that these people, they act like, oh well, what we're requesting is so easy. Why can't you just call her a he or a she? Like just call them whatever they want to be called. But the biggest problem is that they're imposing things on other people. That's why it's so uncomfortable. Like they're imposing their
beliefs.
Yeah, well, not their beliefs, but they're imposing their delusion on other people. And
gender
you know,
dysphoria is fucked up.
some people like to just, you know, I don't know, live their life the way that they see it. Like, you know, the way that they see it, not feel it.
Well,
see
Ben
it. And I think that whenever you're making somebody else live your lie is just, it's awful.
Well, Ben Shapiro put it nicely. When this one lady, it matches with the conversation I had with this guy, but he said all this bullshit, and I was like, well, so why are you not
Oh,
sick?
damn, there's like
And
three
he was
people
like,
there.
he was like, what do you mean?
I
He's
down
like,
IQ.
I'm this age. I'm terrible like you. You cannot force somebody into fucking into fucking thinking somebody. And I said, I even asked him. I said, you ever read George Orwell's 1984? He said no. I said, you probably read that fucking book, dude.
You know what I love about at least aligning conservative or even moderately conservative is that half the time you don't need to refer
Where the
a
hell is
leftist
the
to like
door?
some piece of literature or some obscure article so that they can understand what you're talking about. Usually just like, yeah, why don't you just go ahead and like walk outside and look at the world real quick. Like it's a lot easier. Like
one of the ones-
what I've noticed that was whenever a leftist is arguing with me, they refer me to some obscure podcast or some strange book that I've never heard of.
Yeah, like,
They're
why don't you
this
go listen
explains
to
it,
the
man.
Daily
This
Bongo?
explains it. No, this will help you to understand. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll go look that up. But you know, in the meantime, to help, you know, my point, why don't you just like, you know, like look around real quick?
Right. Right. And, well,
It's not that hard.
I've got a Democrats far left.
Why don't you go to Reefer Weekly for me and just figure it out?
They'll come to me and talk to me about like foreign policy, or try to talk to me about foreign policy, about things that go on in the government. And I was like, okay, hold up. Did you ever learn one specific thing in school? And they said, what is that? And I said, did you ever learn about the Cold War? And they were like, no, we never really got to talk about the Cold War. I said, that's exactly why
Who
you
said
don't
that?
understand.
Did you learn about the Cold War in school?
Didn't learn about
a lot
the
of people
Cold
do
War.
not learn about. A lot of people do not learn about the
Really?
Cold War in school.
What?
Yeah. And
That was
or
one of
Really?
the main thing.
Like a sentence theory.
Oh my god, you
You
know
know,
what? Dude, like, arts and
Razor,
science
where'd you go?
degree. Thank God
Got
I didn't have
kicked
to take
out.
any of those classes.
Connection problems.